For a lot of us, the past few years have felt like a wake-up call to really consider our mental health, our boundaries, and how we engage with the world. Protecting one's peace has become a big topic of discussion. People all over the world are taking control of the things that may be impacting their mental health. This goes from familial relationships, jobs, and even the media we consume. Self-preservation is king.
I'm sorry, Kendrick said Brody feel like he entitled because he knew me since a kid. Bro, I'd cut my granny off if she don't see it how I see it. That is objectively hilarious. He said, I don't care if we were friends since we were children, I would cut my grandmother off. Who are you to me? Who?
Protecting your peace is essentially the act of setting boundaries to maintain a sense of mental and emotional well-being. But this goes beyond just avoiding toxic people. It can mean isolating yourself to recharge, cutting off relationships that drain you, and choosing to be intentional about who and what you let into your life. Protecting your peace has become more mainstream as people recognize the importance of self-care and emotional health. But there are complexities to this as well. While setting boundaries is healthy, too much isolation can lead to other mental health concerns. Let's dive into both sides of this story.
I'm at a place in my life right now where I'm protecting my peace at all costs. That's right. I'm turning folk loose. I'm walking away from anything and anybody that's not beneficial to my growth and my development. So I want you to understand this. Hear me and hear me good, baby. Just because I don't call you out on something, that don't mean that I didn't see it. Don't mean that I didn't hear it. Didn't mean that I wasn't aware of it. Understand that. So please do not mistake my silence as stupidity.
So let's talk about why self-isolation can be a positive thing. First, solitude. Solitude can actually improve creativity, emotional regulation, and give people space to think clearly. Self-isolation, when approached intentionally, offers numerous psychological and emotional benefits. One of the most significant advantages is the opportunity for self-reflection and mental clarity. In today's hyper-connected world, where notifications and social demands are constant, carving out time for solitude allows the brain to reset and recharge. Studies by psychologists like Dr. Reed Larson have shown that spending time alone can enhance emotional regulation, boost creativity, and provide a much-needed break from external stresses. For introverts in particular, self-isolation can be deeply rejuvenating as it aligns with their natural preference for processing experiences internally rather than in group settings. This solitude enables individuals to focus on their personal growth, rediscover their passions, and gain a clearer understanding of their needs and goals. For myself, as a painful extrovert, I also still need moments of quiet and isolation, even though I thrive when I am around others. Another key benefit of self-isolation is its ability to reduce overstimulation and protect your mental health. In situations of high stress or burnout, withdrawing from the chaos of daily life can provide a sense of peace and control. For many, self-isolation became a coping mechanism during the pandemic and their subsequent lockdowns, helping them to navigate uncertainty while managing their mental well-being. Solitude also strengthens their ability to be comfortable with one's own company, fostering self-reliance and resilience. It can create space to practice mindfulness, engage in hobbies, or simply rest without external pressure. While too much isolation can have drawbacks, when done mindfully, it can serve as a powerful tool for emotional recalibration and inner balance. While isolation can offer short-term benefits, prolonged periods of isolation can have significant downsides, particularly when it becomes chronic or unintentional. Extended solitude can lead to feelings of loneliness, which research shows can negatively impact mental and physical health. A study of the National Academies of Sciences found that social isolation is associated with higher risk of depression, anxiety, and even premature mortality. Without regular social interaction, people may begin to feel disconnected from others, which can exacerbate a sense of alienation and diminish their overall quality of life. This is especially true for those who lack a support system or struggle to reintegrate into social settings after long periods of withdrawal. While some isolation can be rejuvenating, studies show that extended periods of social isolation can lead to increased loneliness, anxiety, and depression. Researchers have found links between social isolation and mental health issues, especially as we see more people trying to manage these complex emotions alone. Loneliness is not merely the absence of social interaction, but the emotional pain of feeling disconnected or unseen, even when surrounded by others. The rise of loneliness has been exacerbated in the post-pandemic era. During the pandemic and its lockdowns, millions experienced forced isolation, which revealed the importance of human connection. Even as the world reopened, many struggled to rebuild social ties, often feeling out of practice or overwhelmed by the prospect of re-engaging with others.
Being without community and being chronically alone can cause you to lose yourself and not even notice that you're losing yourself because there's no mirrors being held up to you. Community is not just company, but also reflection.
This growing epidemic of loneliness has been recognized as a public health crisis, with some studies equating its effects on health to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. The paradox of time is that we live in a digitally connected world, yet these connections often lack the depth and authenticity needed to stave off loneliness. Social media, while providing a semblance of interaction, can amplify feelings of inadequacy and isolation.
According to the Harvard Health blog, social media, while designed to connect us, can sometimes contribute to feelings of loneliness and depression when used excessively or without mindfulness. Research, including a 2018 University of Pennsylvania study, has shown that limiting social media use to 30 minutes a day significantly improves mental well-being. Participants in the study reported reductions in loneliness, depression, and anxiety, along with fewer feelings of FOMO. Interestingly, just being mindful of how much time they spent on platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat also led to a greater sense of happiness and focus in their lives. The study highlights the importance of treating social media like a snack, best enjoyed in small, intentional portions. Excessive use, particularly for comparing one's life to others or monitoring what you're missing out on, can amplify negative emotions. Instead, healthy alternatives like engaging in real-life activities such as meeting friends, reading, or exploring creative pursuits are more fulfilling substitutes. Different platforms also have varying impacts. While some allow for creative expression or meaningful connections, others may foster negativity or unhealthy comparisons. Ultimately, the study underscores a paradox. Reducing social media use, which claims to connect us, actually helps people feel less lonely and more connected to their authentic selves. The lesson is clear. Be intentional with social media use. Choose platforms and interactions that align with genuine connections and personal well-being, and don't hesitate to step back when it no longer serves your peace of mind.
Loneliness also carries significant social implications, particularly for younger and older generations. For young adults who are often navigating major life transitions, the absence of close relationships can lead to identity struggles and heightened anxiety. Older adults, on the other hand, often face physical isolation due to mobility issues or the loss of loved ones, making them particularly vulnerable to loneliness. Across all age groups, loneliness creates a cycle of withdrawal. Those who feel disconnected are less likely to reach out, further deepening their isolation. Breaking this cycle requires intentional efforts to foster genuine connections, both for individuals and communities, as well as greater societal focus on addressing the loneliness epidemic. Another aspect of protecting your peace that's gotten a lot of attention is going no contact, especially with people who are toxic or draining. This might mean distancing from family members, friends, or even workplaces that bring more stress than peace. There's a lot of evidence to suggest that cutting ties with harmful influences can lead to significant mental health benefits. Studies have shown that boundary setting, especially in cases of toxic relationships, reduces anxiety and contributes to an overall sense of well-being. However, going no contact can also feel isolating or even bring guilt, particularly in cultures or families where community ties are strong. It's a tough call, and the decision to go no contact is deeply personal. And when people do pick to go no contact, the people on the other side are left with the fallout, implications, and potential loneliness of that decision made by the other party. This does not mean that the first party was wrong. They need to protect their mental health. This just means it falls on the party who has been cut off to then deal with their own potential loneliness from this decision. After setting boundaries and maybe even going no contact, many people then try to rebuild a sense of community. But this is complicated by the reality of post-pandemic life, where many of us feel a mix of wanting to connect, but also the need to protect our peace. Building community in the present day has become both a challenge and a necessity as people navigate the complexities of modern life. With the rise of remote work, urban isolation, and a growing reliance on digital communication, forming genuine face-to-face connections can feel daunting. However, creating a supportive community is essential for mental health and emotional well-being. Research consistently shows that strong social networks are linked to increased happiness, resilience, and even longevity. Communities provide a sense of belonging and shared purpose, offering people the opportunity to grow, learn, and support one another in ways that solitary pursuits cannot. Whether it's through neighborhood groups, hobby-based meetups, or online forums, fostering community is a powerful antidote to feeling of disconnection. For marginalized groups, the need for community is particularly profound. These individuals often face systemic barriers, discrimination, or societal exclusion, making safe and affirming spaces critical for their well-being. LGBTQ+ people, for example, frequently find solace and solidarity in communities that celebrate their identities, providing a buffer against prejudice and isolation. Similarly, communities of color and Black people, immigrants, and disabled individuals benefit immensely from spaces where they can share their experiences, access resources, and advocate for collective change. Such groups can not only offer emotional support, but also empower marginalized individuals to navigate a world that often overlooks their needs. Community building in this context isn't just about connection. It's about survival, validation, and creating a shared sense of strength. In the wake of the pandemic, rebuilding and redefining community has taken on new urgency. Many people have reassessed their priorities and are seeking more meaningful and intentional connections. Virtual spaces like Discord servers or Facebook groups provide valuable platforms for niche communities to thrive, while in-person gatherings like book clubs, support groups, or volunteer initiatives help re-establish face-to-face bonds. The key is inclusivity. Communities today must account for diverse needs, from accessibility to cultural understanding. As people work to bridge the gap between digital and real-world connections, they have the opportunity to create more resilient, compassionate communities that can adapt to the challenges of the modern era. Since we are stumbling headfirst into the Christmas festive holiday season, here are some actionable tips if you're on your own journey to protect your peace. Number 1, define your boundaries. Start small and get clear on what feels okay for you. Write down your boundaries for friends, family, and work. Embrace solitude, but stay mindful. Use solitude to recharge, not retreat. Schedule social check-ins to make sure you're not isolating for too long. Join like-minded communities. Whether online or in person, find groups that feel aligned with your values and respect your need for space. Stay connected with yourself. Journaling, therapy, or meditation can help you understand your needs better and make sure that you're protecting your peace in a healthy way. Ultimately, protecting your peace is a journey, one where you're allowed to make mistakes, set boundaries, and change your mind as you go. Trust yourself and give yourself the space to grow. Remember, protecting your peace doesn't mean isolating yourself from everyone. It's about finding the right balance that works for you. It's championing your needs, but understanding that community inherently calls for us to give of ourselves. It's setting boundaries, but being aware that the boundaries only apply to you. It's isolating when you need it, but not so long that you forget what it is to be amongst others. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I was moved to make this video because we are going into a time of the year where we are seeing more and more people and having more and more social interactions. And I think it's important that we continue to prioritize our mental health. On the flip side, I, as a South African, come from a very community-centric culture. In fact, we have a saying that goes, "Umuntu ngumuntu ngabantu," which means a person is a human because of other people. I hope the tips I've shared, as well as this video, go a long way in helping you protect your peace. And let's keep the conversation going, and you should let me know how you're planning to protect your peace going forward. Thank you guys so much. I hope you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.